Hey everybody, it's Rob Ryan, the music guy. Thanks for tuning in again. Got a new video for you today, and it's starring this guy. You might remember the Behringer Hellfest that we created in the last video. $100 Behringer cab. Now this, I didn't even technically pay for. I bought a cabinet off a friend and he said, can you take this too? Just take it. So it's got some pretty interesting settings, and the test today is to see what we can do to get the actual sound out of this bad boy. Stay tuned. Let's find out.
Let's take a look at the features. Ooh, clear up. Alright, so we got the drive knob. We got Tweed, British, or Calif. I'm sure it's California. We got hot, high gain, and clean. And we got some speaker emulations. Have a 3-band EQ. There's a level for this channel. Everything is exactly the same on the second channel. Completely unnecessary for our test. There's some effects, if they're good. And we got the master presence and master volume. So, let's see if we can get this thing to sound good with enough tweaking.
So look, it's not endless options. It's got plenty of things that we can try out. Now, I need a guitar lead. Oh, it's one on the ground. Now, I need a guitar. Oh, look, here's one. It sounds awful. We've got it set to unity. Everything's at 5. On the tweed setting. Everything sounds like it's covered with a blanket. Alright, let's start tweaking. I'm just gonna run through the EQ just to see what happens. So we've come down to 4. There's plenty of bass going on. Next, I'm gonna have a look at the top end. Now I usually just crank it and turn it down until I like it. It's getting somewhere. Let's give it some drive. So this is the clean setting on the tweed with the drive at 10. The mids are still at 5. Let's play with those. Alright. Going over to the single coil on the neck. Whatever grit and push we were getting from the bridge humbucker is gone. It's like it's almost breaking up, almost, but still not. Neck pickup. You could probably get away with some sort of a funk sound. super sharp. See what happens when we turn the presence all the way. Kind of getting a little bit of bite. But I gotta tell you guys, it's a very flat sound. It's very flat. Even though it's got a little bit of a spike to it now, with the presence and the mids on 10, it's not that mid-rangey. Let's go to the bridge. Now that's starting to break up in a real digital, disgusting kind of way. Oh, make it stop, guys. If we want a little bit of crunch, a little bit of bite, we're going to go to the high gain setting, which doesn't exist on a Tweed amp, but we're going to go to the high gain setting. Let's turn our mids down a little bit, and the presence too. So we've gone down to 7. So currently running 4 on the bass, 7 mid, 7 high, 7 presence. And the drive is all the way down. We're very close to where we just were. The breakup, the like distortion that I'm getting from it now is not quite as disgusting. But it's super flat. Super flat. So for the clean part of the sound, where we actually had some life, we've lost that now and traded that for a slightly less disgusting, but still unappetizing breakup. Oh no, there it is. That's almost as bad as it was. Let's see what happens if we give it a little bit of drive. Anything that's in the like spicy part of your ear just sounds like absolute white noise. That's one of the worst distortions I've ever heard on anything. It's not just the amp's fault. We tested this cab last week. It's pretty bad. Neck pickup. All of a sudden, a big part of the distortion that was bad and offensive is gone. It's still in there, but it's like subdued, very subdued compared to... No, it's shifted. I think it's just ended up a little bit higher. There's still a disgusting part of the sound, but it's in a higher part of the frequency range. There it is. Let's just go to the hot and crank it and just see what it sounds like, just so we know how bad it can get. That's not very nice. And this is meant to be a Tweed amp. Yuck! Let's try some of the other sounds. The British setting. Drive at 10 on clean. Actually need some lows now. Look, I think they're sort of trying to say that this is meant to sound like a Marshall. I got a JTM over here. And I'm offended on its behalf. Even the JCM 2000 is like, just, like, it's insulting by the comparison. Look, quick, better get through it. What's the high gain sound like? Let's turn this down to 5. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. For a solid state digital distortion, I can live with this. What's hot? Very bright. We might turn some of this presence down. It squeals, it chugs, and you don't notice just how sort of like harsh and nasty it sounds. I'm sure it does. But it kind of suits it in a weird way, So we can live with the British setting, except for the clean part. That was ridiculous. Now, the California. Is this meant to be a Mesa? I don't know. So that's the clean. I kind of hear sort of like a Fenderish quality to it. Let's go to the high gain, down to 5. Well, now it just sounds like an American high gain amp, like just really generic. Like, could be anything. Could be a PV. Could be a Mesa. Could be a Soldano. It's not really like sounding like any of them. It's just kind of sounding, in comparison to the other things we've done, like that ballpark. Feels like it needs more presence again. Cool. I don't actually know any Motley Crue, so let's see if we can come up with some stuff to try and make it sound better. But first, we have to actually record a sound with this. I think we're going to have to use all 3, and we're going to have to make a track. This could take a while, guys. You might see my shirt change.
Hey guys, day 2, just heading down to the studio to get started again on this wonderful amplifier. The next thing we're going to be checking out is whether or not these make a difference. The handles are really clever. A friend of mine was telling me and a mate that this is a bit of a secret weapon for making a cabinet sound better, is opening it up a bit, taking the handles off and letting some of that energy escape. So before we do that, we got to record our track and create a bass line. And then we can start playing around with modifications and just see whether or not we can make this better. Now, each mod, I'm just gonna make the call myself. Sorry, not super scientific, but I'll just decide whether or not it actually contributes positively to the sound. And once we've done all of the modifications, then we'll record the song again, and that way you guys can actually make up your own minds whether you think it's making it sound better, worse, whatever. That's fine.
So here I am removing the handles from the cabinet. Now, it's not a particularly tricky job, but this one was a little bit trickier than it should have been. For starters, they didn't use the same screw size for every single screw, so I had to make sure that I kept track of which screw went where and try and make sure I didn't mix them all up. The other thing that was completely unnecessary was the fact that the handles were glued to the Tolex. So then when I went to remove them, it started to lift the Tolex, and as you can see, I needed to get my hammer and a screwdriver in order to be able to separate it cleanly.
So we made it in. This side was fine. Can't see too much, except straight through the other side. But bad news. For some reason, this side was glued to the Tolex. So we lost a little bit. Crunch. But there you have it. Here are these awful speakers that are on some sort of weird angle. I don't know what these guys are, but they're not great.
Alright, that was way more work than it needed to be. Let's see what's going on here. Start with our clean sound. You know what? I actually think this helped. There's more good top end. There's nothing else different, but there's more good top end, which is balancing the lows way better. The tops actually sound more natural. It's not as flat as it was. It's not a huge difference though, so if you really like having handles on your cab, keep them. Alright, Let's check out the other channel. This was the lead channel. Now I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a slight improvement. It's a little bit better. So now we're going to have to start looking at the next sound source, the microphones. There's a Glenn Fricker, Ulrich Wild. Ulrich showed this to Glenn, and then I saw it on Glenn's channel. It involves summing two microphones with different characters together to create one signal. One of the things I did on purpose here as well is I didn't use any effects, so let's see if we can find something nice for the lead. I'm looking for a delay, but I want a long delay. Sounds like a room. So a bit of delay is going to help. Let's go back to the other channel and see if we can get a nice reverb happening. Just by rolling off the volume, I've just taken it down by about 2. That's where 10 was. Now on 8. On the lead. Bit of delay. Talent juice. So the next thing we're going to do is double mic it. Now, this is a really affordable condenser mic by MXL. It's fine. Comes in a pack with a pencil condenser that I've actually already lost. Helps if you don't smack it into the cabinet face. I prefer it when you don't. Now, the goal here is to try and get the two microphones same distance away from the speaker. And why is that? Because of phase. I haven't changed the 57 position by very much at all. But considering the goal here to get these in phase, it was necessary. Very, very necessary. Alright, they're looking pretty good. So I'm summing it through the old Soundcraft desk. Yeah, I know what I've got. 57 on the left, condenser in red. Now I've just been checking this, it is nice and phase aligned. And the other thing that it's running through is this little preamp. These tubes make everything better, right? So it's definitely going to help increase the quality of our signal path. Yeah?
So now that we've applied all these tricks and tips, the cabinet mod, the ambient effects, the mic technique, and the tube enhancement, it's time to re-record our song. Will we notice a difference? And more importantly, will it sound better? Let's find out if we can make sound good.
Alright, so there it is guys, the Behringer Hellstack. Now let me know what you think. I don't want to assume that everyone thinks that the second mix sounds better. For me it sounds better, I like it better, but I actually had my brother here a little while ago and he shocked me by saying that there's actually certain things about the first mix that he enjoyed a lot more. So give me some feedback, let me know what you think about the different sounds. And if you've got any more tips or tricks on how to make amps sound better, then maybe we can try them out in the next video. Now I do have another one coming very soon on the Ashton 30 watt solid state 10-inch practice amp. Can't wait to see what that thing sounds like. Now if you've got any ideas for the next video, just shout out. I might not be able to get my hands on something straight away, but I'm very interested to know what pieces of gear have traumatized you throughout your playing career. And let's see whether or not we can make them sound good. Just want to say thanks to everyone who made it to the end of the video. I know this one's quite a long one. Hopefully the next one will be a little bit tighter. I'm Rob Ryan, the music guy. Thanks for tuning in again. I'll catch you next time.